Shabbat Shalom. Dini and I are on the road following the same journey that Jacob in this week's Torah portion takes from Be'er Sheva on his way to Haran, but he stops in Yerushalayim. And we're on the way to Yerushalayim for Shabbat. And when he stops in Yerushalayim at the holiest place on the Temple Mount, Jacob has a dream and he sees a ladder with angels going up and down upon the ladder. And our rabbis ask, why is it that the angels are taking a ladder to get up to heaven? Angels fly. Why do they need a ladder for? And our rabbis tell us that this dream that took place at the holiest site in the world, the place of the Beit HaMikdash, represents man's journey from earth to heaven. Every human being is constantly striving to grow closer in their attachment and their relationship with God. And what the Torah is teaching us is that you can't fly. We have to take one step at a time, one rung at a time. The Baal Shem Tov once asked his students, if there are two people on a ladder, one is on the 3rd rung and one is on the 8th rung, who's higher? And the student said, well, of course, the person on the 8th rung. And the Baal Shem Tov said, not necessarily. If the person on the 8th rung is going down the ladder and the person on the 3rd rung is going up the ladder, the person on the 3rd rung is higher. In Judaism, in the Torah, and mitzvos, it's all about what direction we're going. If we're climbing up the rungs of the ladder, we're going from the earth towards the heaven, like Jacob. That is the whole purpose of Judaism, to connect the earth to the heaven, to be a little bit higher today than we were yesterday, to constantly strive to climb higher. There's no better place on earth than to come closer to Hashem, to Torah and mitzvahs, than Yerushalayim and Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel. Conclude with a story about a young man who was discovering his Jewish roots. He came to Yerushalayim, and it was before Yom Kippur, and his rabbi told him that there's a custom that everyone goes to the mikveh before Yom Kippur. This young man who was becoming observant, he was coming from the United States, and he had a very sordid past, and he had many tattoos on his body, and he was embarrassed in the mikveh, so he took a towel and covered himself from neck to toe. But as he was walking to immerse himself in the water, the towel slipped, and he was standing there fully exposed with all of his tattoos. And this mikveh in Jerusalem filled with rabbis with white beards, he felt like everyone was staring at him. And he began to blush and turn red. An elderly Jew with a long white beard and payas walked over to him and put his arm around him and said, don't feel bad, I have a tattoo as well. And he rolled up his sleeve and he showed him his number from the concentration camp. He said, I've come from my hellish past, you've come from your hellish past, but now we're about to begin Yom Kippur in Yerushalayim. Let's go together and begin again. Jerusalem is the place that a generation of Jews who survived the Holocaust came to take their next step in their journey of life to Eretz Yisrael, to Yerushalayim. And today Jews from all over the world come to Yerushalayim to take their next step on the path of Judaism. Just like Jacob's ladder 4,000 years ago connected earth to heaven, Yerushalayim and the land of Israel continues to connect the Jewish people to our Father in heaven. Let us continue to climb this ladder each and every day. Shabbat Shalom.